This is WBBW with studios in the Warner Theater Building, Youngstown. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony Ross speaking for station WBBW in Youngstown, Ohio, with studios in the Warner Theater Building. It is with great pride that we welcome you to this, our dedication program. It is our sincere hope that today marks the beginning of a long and happy association, and that you will be proud of WBBW in the future as we are today. We will work to make WBBW everything that you expect it to be. We owe a debt of gratitude to the people of this area for the interest they displayed during the period of construction and for their patience and good wishes so helpful to us during the numerous delays. Representing them this afternoon is the Honorable Charles P. Henderson, Mayor of Youngstown. Mayor Henderson, it is a pleasure and a privilege to welcome you as the first public official to speak over WBBW.
Thank you. I'm happy this afternoon to be a part of this very enjoyable occasion, the dedicatory ceremony for the Youngstown's newest station, WBBW. We're going through a period now of birthdays. First was Lincoln's birthday and then Washington's birthday. I think it's appropriate that we have a new birthday of WBBW. And so, using your call letters, on behalf of the citizens of Youngstown, we say, we bring birthday wishes to you. I think the opening of this new radio station is a testimonial to the great freedom of speech we have in this country. Testimonial, ample evidence that private enterprise is allowed in this country still to go forward and spread the truth. In Russia today, and the other countries dominated by Russia and fascist countries, we know that only one radio station would be permitted to broadcast. That would be the broadcasting station of the state. Today, the only control we have are the necessary limitations so that your wavelengths don't conflict with other stations. Other than that, you're given perfect freedom to broadcast entertainment and the truth. I'd like to compliment you upon the completion of the arrangements, the opening of this beautiful new station. It's certainly very colorful. It's very pleasing, attractive walls, colorful walls, and your shiny new furniture, your pretty flowers, and the pretty ladies that are assembled here this afternoon. I think it's all a very fine tribute to the ability of your management and engineers who have done the work to make this possible. People of Youngstown, I know, are glad to see a third radio station come to Youngstown. We're glad to see your new station, WBBW, joining the other two stations who have done such a good job for the city. It's certainly another milestone in the progress of the city of Youngstown. I feel sure, I'm fortified in my thoughts by the flowers here, that the people of Youngstown express the hope that your years of broadcasting, of entertainment and news, may be many and enjoyable and prosperous. We hope also that you may continue through the years to be a voice and a force working for good in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Henderson. And now we'd like to call to the microphone an old friend of ours, Vi Wade, well-known television and radio personality. Vi, a word from you, please.
Well, Tony, I was hoping that Mr. Williamson would say that he was with the Columbia Broadcasting System. And, of course, I know it isn't ethical, but I'm with the one that his system's been stealing all the people from lately. So you can guess which one that is. I've known you and Johnny Cherpak and Gene Crace for a good many years. And I think your station is very fortunate in having such experienced people to start out with. Generally, you start out with an angel or two and one guy that knows the radio business, and he suffers from there on. But you have people at the head that knows it all. And I want to wish you success, and I know you'll have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vi Wade. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like you to meet members of our immediate staff. We're going to call first upon Fred Rollison, who is sitting to my immediate front, and ask him to say a word or two to you. Fred Rollison, who is to act as our sports director and who is now a teacher of Hayes Junior High. Am I right, Fred?
That's right, Tony. Thank you a lot, and I feel somewhat like the little boy who was with his daddy one night, and they were going across the bridge, and the youngster looked down in the water, and he saw the reflection of the moon. He says, "Daddy, what is that?" Why, he says, that's the moon. Little boy looks up and says, Daddy, what are we doing up here? And I feel somewhat the same way. Thank you.
You're welcome, Fred. We'll look forward to seeing more of you and hearing more of you before our microphones. And now to call Jack Clifton to the microphone, who is to the extreme rear of me here. Jack is going to be one of our DJs. Is that right, Jack?
Yes, you almost had it backwards there.
Almost had it backwards.
Maybe it wouldn't have been too bad, sort of appropriate in my character.
Right. Now, you're out of Cleveland, are you not?
Yeah, well, I don't live there, though. I just work there on occasion.
A freelancer.
That's what they call us.
How are you impressed with this big city of Youngstown?
I think it's quite a city. I had a little accident when I came up the stairs today.
You did?
I got off to a wonderful start. I don't think the mayor's office thinks much of me. I was walking up the stairs, and I met this very nice and affable gentleman, so I stick out my right hand, and I say, "Hi, how are you?" I said, "My name's Jack Clifton. Who are you?" He says, "My name's Henderson." I said, "Oh, hi, Mr. Henderson. How are you?" And we discussed the current political situation and everything. We got upstairs, we came in, and suddenly I found out. You see, now that just goes to show, Tony, how little I know about Youngstown. So in the future, I'd be very happy if I make any small errors like that, or large errors, whichever they might be, if somebody would sort of tip me off.
That we will try to do. Well, we want to formally welcome you, Jack, to Youngstown and to WBBW. We'll look forward to hearing much of you on the air. And, of course, with the build-up we've already given you, we certainly are going to look for great things from you.
Thanks a million, Tony. It's been
right.
wonderful working with you all.
Thank you, Jack. We'll call next now upon our good friend Bill Reinman, who is on our sales staff here at WBBW. Bill, would you mind coming over here and saying hello to our radio audience?
Well, thank you, Tony, and I'll just take a few minutes to say hello, and I wish that everybody in the town had the opportunity of working with the men that we are today.
That's quite a compliment. Thank you, Mr. Reinman. Another member of our staff is... Oh, yes, it's Walter Deast. I thought I'd get you to say something before I did.
Thank you, Tony.
Walter, you are a member of our sales department, too. And from the very first day that I met you, I felt certain that we were going to be fine friends and going to work well together. Welcome to WBBW, and what would you like to say to us as a group, that is, to the radio audience, I should say to the audience already present here to hear you, and to those of us who are listening at home?
Well, thank you, Tony, and it is indeed a pleasure to work with such a group as the group that we have here at WBBW, and I'd like to say that I think we're all going to work well in the future for the benefit of Youngstown. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol Keefe, our chief continuity writer, is not too far from us. I'd like to introduce you to her. Miss Keefe?
Well, thank you very much, Tony, and it's very nice to be in Youngstown. You know, this is my first visit to Youngstown, Ohio, and I haven't had much of a chance to see the city. But now that we are on the air and the big job is over, no more working nights, why, I hope to get around and see a little bit more of the city. You know, this is a little out of my line. I generally write the speeches and other people make them.
I see. Well, Carol, you're from Pittsburgh, so you should be quite at home here in Youngstown, where atmospheric conditions are quite similar. And now to call upon a young lady who is from the big city of Salem. Would you mind coming over here, Miss Gibson? Gloria Gibson, who is going to be our music librarian and who will also assist in continuity writing. Miss Gibson?
Thank you, Mr. Ross, and I certainly hope that the station will have all the success that it deserves. You three men have worked hard.
Thank you. Now, if I could just call in Gene Trace, who is a vital part of our organization. I don't see him anywhere within the second floor here, or rather the third floor. He's coming in our direction now. There are other members of our staff, by the way, but they haven't come into the big Studio A, the colorful Studio A. And perhaps while Mr. Trace does a wee bit of talking here, I may be able to round up the other members of our staff. One of them, by the way, is in Studio B there. Gene, do you think perhaps we ought to call in Dan Swiss?
Yes, I think so, Tony, because Dan has been on quite a while today, and I also think that you've missed Bob Locke, one of the other announcers who's been on since 7 o'clock this morning working with you. So I think they both should come in here and say a few words. I know people are going to be hearing them every day on the air. Bob, come on, you're right here at first. You signed on at 7 o'clock this morning. Are you going to be signing on every morning at 5:30 from now on?
That looks like the gloomy prospect, Gene.
Aren't you looking forward to 5:30?
About 4:45, Gene, is what it's going to amount to.
Well, that isn't so bad. You get used to it after the first year.
That's what they say. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and as they say in the books, Gene, we'll look forward to brighter horizons.
All right, Bob. It's certainly nice to have you with us here on the staff.
And I'm glad to be here, Gene. I'd like to say that.
Thank you very much. Dan? Dan Swiss, another new member of our announcing staff, started this afternoon about 1 o'clock, I think, on some programs and has been heard regularly. Dan, you might be interested to know, on one of the newscasts that you read this afternoon, we had 2 or 3 calls from people saying, "My, that gentleman has a fine voice."
Oh, I was afraid for a minute.
We don't like to tell you that very often until after you've been here for some time, see, because we don't want you to get off on the wrong foot.
Well, the reason there was only a couple is I don't have many relatives in Youngstown.
Well, that's what I wanted to find out, just where they were from.
For years and years, Locke and I have worked together. Bob has worked with me quite a bit. And it's been the general practice that he would get up about the time that I go to bed, and I see we're going to continue that around here, too.
Well, you can always shake hands as you pass each other in the hall.
That's about it. It's very nice to be here, and I want to thank Tony and you and Mr. Churpak, the man behind the board there, for giving everybody, not only myself, an opportunity to, shall we say, express ourselves artistically.
I think that's fine. Why don't you do one thing?
Yeah.
Why don't you go in there, take over those controls from Johnny, and
I
bring
just
Johnny
offered
in
to
here.
do it, and I will do it now.
Okay, now if we can get Johnny in here to say a few words. He's one of these radio people that you never hear about on the air at all. He doesn't like to talk on the air like Tony does. And if we can get Johnny... Come on, Johnny, just a minute before we get off of the air with this program.
Gene, I was just going to wager a donut to the hole that he wouldn't come, but it looks like he is coming over this way. He's the man who's been doing quite a lot of the work, but very seldom wishes to talk about it.
You know, this is our boss, Tony. He's the president of this corporation.
That's what I understand.
Will you say a word, Mr. President?
Well, I'm glad to be with the organization. That's all I can say.
All right, Mr. Churpak, you can get right back behind those controls. It looks like you and our good friend, Mr. Williamson, are quite alike in that respect. They like to do great things, but never talk about them.
Well, they do great things. That I know. That's all I have, Tony.
All right, Gene.
Anyone else that you have in mind that you... did we have everyone on the air? Of course, we have Mrs. Deans. Where did she go?
Oh, yes.
She was here just a moment ago.
While we're waiting for her, we'd like to say to all of our friends and guests here this afternoon that we've appreciated having you here, and we've enjoyed your presence and your confidence in us for the coming years of service.
We want to get Mrs. Deans in here because she's our bookkeeper, and she's the one that's going to be responsible to show us if we owe anyone anything or if they owe us anything. So if she will come in a minute, we would appreciate very much just to have a word from her. I know it'll be her first time on the air, probably a little bit nervous about it. But I think she wants to hesitate, Tony, at this time. Incidentally, we might tell our listeners that we do have more people on the staff than we have here today. Some of the people have been unable to get here as yet.
Yes.
We have one newsman coming in from Ottawa, Canada, and he's somewhere between here and Ottawa. And Bob Wire, we had Bob on, our morning news editor?
No, he hasn't been on the air. I think he is gone for the moment, but he's been here all day preparing and editing the newscasts for those who have been before the microphones with him. Where he is, again, I don't know. I guess we have some people here who are somewhat microphone shy.
That's right. Well, Tony, I just want to say one word in concluding that I appreciate very much I want to express my thanks to all of the people that have come up here today, our friends here in Youngstown, to say the nice things that they have said about us today. It's very nice of them to take time out this afternoon to spend a few minutes with us.
And I'd like to also thank all of our speaker visitors here this afternoon. Our many thanks go to His Honor the Mayor, as well as to Mr. Williamson, Mr. Byer Wade, Mr. Brown, Mr. Warwick, and also to the governor, who was kind enough to send up a transcribed version of a welcome for us. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the inaugural broadcast of Youngstown's new radio station, WBBW. We invite you to stay tuned to this station today and every day, and to let us know how we may improve our service to you. Upon your pleasure depends the success of this, your radio station. This is Tony Ross speaking, and this is WBBW, the Mahoning Valley Broadcasting Corporation.
This transcribed interlude of music, styled for you by John Gart at the console of the Hammond organ, featured the selections What Is This Thing Called Love, Stephen Foster's Beautiful Dreamer, and I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen. This is WBBW, Youngstown.
The skipping you dodge, the daring you dodge, It's lower on the outside,
Higher on the inside,
wide on the inside,
narrow on the outside,
shorter on the outside,
longer on the inside. The different new Dodge, the daring new Dodge. It's easy to drive the great new Dodge. Easy to park, it fits your garage. Because it's
lower on the outside,
higher on the inside,
wide on the inside,
narrow on the outside,
shorter on the outside,
longer on the inside. The different new Dodge, the daring new Dodge.
It's the smarter style. It's the new Dodge. Lower outside, plenty of headroom inside. Shorter outside, stretch-out room inside. Luxurious, spacious interiors, natural beauty exteriors. It's the new Dodge with the new Dodge Getaway engine. See the new Dodge today.
In 5 days, you'll see the new Dodge at Strasbourg's. Be sure to see this daring new car either in the afternoon or the evening at Strasbourg's, 1097 Wick Avenue, Youngstown. It's 4 o'clock, and here is the latest local and world news as compiled and edited in WBBW's newsroom from the wires of the International News Service. Bob Locke reporting.
First, here's the bulletin. Michael J. Quill, International President of the CIO Transport Workers Union, declared late today that the Philadelphia transit strike is over. Quill made his announcement after wildly cheering strikers voted overwhelmingly at a stormy session this afternoon to ballot secretly on an 8-cent hourly wage boost to end the 10-day-old paralyzing transit tie-up. When the trolley, bus, and subway operators roared their approval of the secret ballot motion, Quill declared, "The strike is over." Quill and local TWU President Andrew J. Kalin said that the first trolleys, buses, and subways should begin to roll by 10 tonight. The 11,000 workers on strike since February 11th began balloting at their respective district headquarters immediately. Quill said complete results could be expected by 9 p.m. He predicted that the margin in favor of accepting the agreement would be 8-1. In Washington, top diplomatic quarters said today that the North Atlantic Alliance nations are working on a strongly worded pact which will spell out willingness of each power to use armed force, if necessary, to repel aggression. Armed intervention, however, is certain to be made elective with each government in order to protect the constitutional war-declaring powers of the U.S. Congress. The draft of the Defense Pact, as modified by the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, today was in the hands of the nation.